In war and darkness we ignite the spark. Flames of fury like the callous heart. Steel meets leather, flesh on fire. Adrenaline rush, burning higher and higher. WrestleManiacs attack, no turning back. WrestleManiacs attack under the blood moon. Broken bones, wounds that never heal. Minds on the edge, feel the raw deal. Chaos in the ring, sweat dripping rain. Tear down the walls, feel the unchained pain. WrestleManiacs attack, no turning back. WrestleManiacs attack under the blood moon. WrestleManiacs attack, no turning back. WrestleManiacs attack under the blood moon. Broken bones, wounds that never heal. Minds on the edge, feel the raw deal. Chaos in the rain, sweat dripping rain. Tear down the walls, feel the unchained pain. WrestleMania.
What is going on, boys? We're back and ready to attack tonight. The Royal Rumble post show with myself and Crater Mania right now. We may have some people joining us here in a little bit, but big show, probably the second biggest show of the year for the WWE. And a lot of people are, as is every year, you know, kind of divided as far as they liked it, they loved it, they hated it, you know. So what do you think about it overall before we get into it, Crater?
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was killer. This is the first, I think, Royal Rumble where I've guessed every winner of the match correctly. And if you don't believe me on that, you go check out my stream on my YouTube channel.
He's got proof. He's got proof.
That's right.
So, yeah, man, I mean, this was a pretty stacked show. You know, a couple of things that I guess with the Triple H era that they're starting and they're doing a little bit different is the thing that I don't know if I can get used to is they're starting it at 6 o'clock. Like, that's just crazy. To me, that's too early.
Well, do you think it has something to do with, like, Lucas Oil Stadium maybe having, like, a curfew or something, or needing the like, people that paid for a ticket to at least get out of there by a certain time? What do you think that is?
I have no idea because they didn't have to do it before.
Well, I guess that's, I don't know.
And they did the last, where was it at? The Survivor Series that way, I think, right? Wasn't it 6 o'clock as well?
Yeah, but it seems like somebody said something about that, about there was like a curfew for wherever that was at. I can't remember. Was it like in Toronto or somewhere in Canada, right?
Right.
Survivor Series.
But I mean, 2 shows in a row, you got to think this is one of those deals where they're trying something different. And what's weird is I remember because, what was it, WrestleMania 8, the one that I attended, it started at like 4 o'clock in the evening. So like they weren't always that late. And I'm not really sure the reason this time why they're changing it and going back a couple hours, but it's a little bit different to get used to. But I mean,
I can't remember because when I went to WrestleMania 30 in New Orleans, it seems like it started at like either 6 or 7 when I went to that one, but it ran pretty late though. I remember.
New Orleans is Central Time though, if I'm not mistaken, so it could have been 7 o'clock their time.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember.
Anyway, fun show tonight. I did enjoy it overall. The Rumble matches themselves, I just love.
Yeah.
You know, and I would be all for them doing like a Royal Rumble, another Royal Rumble at some point. as a special attraction throughout the year, but I guess they want to save it as like a, once a year gimmick match.
Yeah, and
But
next year they're going to be in Saudi Arabia. So the last time they had a Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia, it was that greatest Royal Rumble event where they actually had a belt made for it, and Braun Strowman won it. So do you think he's going to defend that belt next year in Saudi Arabia?
what where that belt is?
I don't know.
I
Probably.
completely forgot about it. Yeah, it had a green strap and there's another Saudi belt too, right? That where do they defend that at?
Oh,
In
that's
Cody Rhodes
what was that called? Royal
crown jewel, yeah.
Crown Jewel. Okay, there you go.
There you. But I welcome everybody though tonight. They were in Indianapolis, Indiana. Big event tonight. What did they say? 70,000 people, nearly 70,000, something like that.
I think so because I had looked earlier. I think it was maybe yesterday or the day before. They had already distributed like 66,000 tickets a couple days ago, but they always are able to sell tickets on the day of too. So I don't know if that number is accurate because sometimes when they give numbers like that, they're not accurate. But who knows? I mean, there was a lot of fucking people in that building tonight.
Hell yeah, for sure. So I guess we'll go ahead. No, wait. Here we go, man. He's a little late.
Well, he had to count his money, I guess.
What's up, guys?
Not too much. How you doing? Stud Muffin Mark in the house tonight.
Heck yeah. What kind of shirt you got? An Undertaker?
Yeah, it's the old
Hell yeah.
Phenom's Death Crew shirt. Figured I'd pull it out for the stream.
That's awesome.
Nice. Wasn't it a 50-man battle royal in Saudi Arabia?
It was 50 men.
Because they had a one-off 40-man rumble like a few years ago here. They never mentioned it again. It was kind of odd.
That was the one from 2011, I think, that Alberto Del Rio won.
Right, yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, that was just a one-off thing. They never went back to that. I don't know.
No.
But I guess we'll go ahead and get started. The countdown show began at 4 o'clock. Do you guys ever check out the countdown show at all, or no?
I usually do, but at that same time, I was doing my prediction stream at that same time, but I got to catch the end of that countdown show though after my stream.
Yeah, I mean, I used to watch the kickoff stuff like right when they started doing that. I watched it for a couple years, but then I stopped. I haven't watched it in a while.
Yeah, I love stuff like that. Like anything outside of just the actual wrestling matches and stuff, because they did like this exclusive interview with Punk on that countdown show, like I said in my stream earlier, my two picks were Punk and Jey Uso, and I was kind of leaning towards Punk, to be honest with you, because the interaction he had with Cody this past Monday on Raw. And then, he does that interview on the countdown show, just kind of alluding that he's never won it before, but he's always wanted to, blah, blah, blah. And so I thought, yeah, if it's not him though, I said, I'm going to go with Jey Uso, but man, never in a million years, I think that Jey would have actually won the fucking thing.
Yeah, I'm still a little shocked at that, but, Rye the Horror Guy, I totally agree. I was in awe, kind of. I was like, damn, yeah. She does look really good still.
She's going to be at Lexington Comic-Con too this year.
Baby. I don't know if it'd be worth going to, but I mean, if I went to the show, I'd definitely have to meet her.
Yeah, they got several wrestlers that's going to be there this year so far. They've got Trish and Lita, Sting, and the Hardy Boys. I believe that's it so far.
Cool.
The Yeet shit is getting old. Well, you can't tell the fans that. I got a feeling this is going to be the next Watt, though. People are going to get sick of this pretty quick.
I don't know, man.
I'm already halfway there, man. I think it's the overexposure on it. I mean, the last few Raw episodes, it seemed like the entrances have been going on so long, and it just, I'm glad he's over, and he's out of the Uso tag team shadow. And he's having his solo run. It's good for him, but I mean, I think people are going to get tired of it, especially imagine him winning the world title from Gunther. I mean, we all know he's going to face Gunther.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
I
going to
don't
win
know.
too.
Yeah, that's another thing that's really weird. Somebody's going to have to interfere in that. Like, and then how long is he going to hold the title? What, 2-3 months?
I don't know, man, but I just be honest with you, I love it. Like, when the whole thing began with the Yeet thing, I wasn't sure about it, but like, and I guess I'm just looking at his perspective as a parent too, because like my son, who's not even really into wrestling, but he watched with us tonight, and he loves the whole Yeet thing. And my nephew, who's even younger than my son, was watching it, and he's just like 6 years old, man, and he loves Jey Uso. And I just noticed he's a big market for kids. And I thought the same thing for like John Cena. Maybe that wasn't going to last, but look how long that lasted. Because as long as they're marketing towards these kids, they're going to be, in the
They're going to be yeeting themselves
yeah,
for many years to come.
they're going to be in the spotlight for a while.
So we'll go ahead and kick it off, though. Royal Rumble 2025. And in celebration of that, I actually have rolling on the little TV Royal Rumble 1995. And I feel so fucking old because that was 30 years ago. 30 years ago.
I was about 8 years old when that happened. So
Jeff Jarrett versus Razor Ramon opening match. Jeff Jarrett is still fucking wrestling.
oh yeah,
Poor Razor Ramon is no longer with us. But
Yeah.
all right. Fast forward 30 years, Royal Rumble 2025, Lucas Oil Stadium, gigantic stadium. I've been by it a few times. They filled it up tonight. It looked very, very packed. The big thing is showing people coming in, to the either on the TV shows, the pay-per-views, or whatever. Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, Gunther, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, they were all coming into the arena. And Stephanie McMahon kicked the show off tonight. I was a little surprised by that, especially considering some of the stuff that came out about the lawsuit about her Papa, doing some dastardly things.
Yeah, more of that stuff just came out today too, because they officially named Lesnar and Michael Hayes as a part of that, right?
Oh shit! I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I think one of the things was that he was pressuring her into, getting F5 by Lesnar, by Lesnar's Peter, and I don't think it ever happened or whatever. But one of his fantasies is he pretended like he was Brock Lesnar and proceeded to beat the shit, like literally beat her up too while he was. So this is some crazy.
Well, I don't, I believe that, and to be honest with you, because I mean, also the other stuff that came out where he had all of these different dildos that were named after wrestlers.
That's the funniest
Come
shit
on.
ever.
You can take the big show. Take it.
Have you guys heard that story about Michael Hayes that Paul London and Brian Kendrick tell? And I think it shouldn't come as a surprise that he was named in this Janelle Grant suit or whatever, because like this story's from a long time ago from Paul London and Brian Kendrick on this shoot interview I watched of them, and they were saying they were working a show in Philadelphia one night, SmackDown, and then after their match was like a tag match, I guess, they went to the back to get cleaned up and everything so they could sit and watch the rest of TV with the locker room. So they went to take a shower, and like as they were taking a shower, they were standing there and just kind of like analyzing their match, what could have been made better and all that. And then they just kind of paused simultaneously and like turned at the same time. And Michael Hayes is standing there like leaned against this like pole, and he says to him, "Looking good tonight, boys. Looking real good." And then he just walks away. And Paul London's like, "What the fuck was that? What did he mean we were looking good? Are you talking about our match or our dicks?" And I absolutely love that. If that's true, and then based off all the stuff that's come out now about Michael Hayes being named in that suit, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I don't remember hearing that, but I could believe it. I mean,
Oh yeah, There's a shoot interview
Yeah.
of Paul and Brian Kendrick, so check that out.
Do you think Stephanie would ever come back on like a regular basis though? Like stuff like this, I was shocked that she was out there tonight, even as brief as it was.
Well, the reason for that, I believe, is because it just got announced she's got a new show coming to ESPN, where she's going to be highlighting just like the lives outside of wrestling of different wrestlers in the WWE. And because I saw a picture earlier today where like she's on this big yacht with all of the Bloodline members, and that's supposed to be part of that new show.
Is this going to be like a actual thing where they're following them around for like, the 60 thing like they would do on WWE Network, or is this like a scripted deal?
I don't know yet, honestly.
Oh, okay.
Getting into it though, Women's Royal Rumble kicks it off. Starting with Io Sky and Liv Morgan, and then kind of going from there. I think it was a little over an hour. This match was. There were some surprises, although there were some people that were still kind of missing.
Yeah.
Is Nikki Bella? Is she coming back full time, or what's the deal with
I
that?
hope not.
Yeah, same. What a wasted spot. I thought maybe we might have got Lita or somebody like that in there, but yeah.
Well, on the countdown show, when they were like, they had the panel up there talking and everything, they were talking about that, and then like the crowd starts chanting AJ Lee, and I thought for sure, she might have been coming back because we're now they got Punk back in the fold. Maybe they can talk her into coming back too, but I was not expecting Nikki Bella.
Yeah, I thought I saw a rumor online that she might be coming back, at least for a one-off spot in the Rumble, AJ, but it just seems like she's sticking to her guns. She's retired.
Also, early on in the match, Chelsea Green was in there, and she's great. Like, I
love Chelsea Green.
Yeah, she's always on. Like, I mean, it doesn't matter if the camera's on or not. That character is always on. So I think she's really starting to grow on people a lot as well there. So she was great throughout the entire match. I love the spot too where Piper, she was like telling Piper to hurry your ass up down there and help her out. Come on, hurry. That's just great. There was some questionable people in this match though, man. Like I would have had like B-Fab and who was some of the other. Shouldn't have been in there. Candice LeRae. Why is she even employed?
She sucks too.
Like, there's got to be some sort of. I guess Triple H and Gargano are big buddies or something. I don't know. I have no
man.
I have no clue.
Yeah, like Zelina Vega as well as another one. Like, just why?
Right. There were so many tiny little women wrestlers out there. Yeah. That's starting to be a problem, man. Like, there's some of them that are really good. Like, I think Roxanne Perez is really good. She's really, she's very young and everything.
Yeah.
But they're getting to the point where they need to start looking for, and there's a couple. Lash Legend is fucking great. Like, for as long as she's been of course, she's a legit athlete, right? Didn't she play in the WNBA or something like that?
I don't know.
I think she was.
She did something. I don't know if it was that.
She's some sort of legit athlete too, though. But yeah, she's one of the only ones that was like, well, it was her and Raquel Rodriguez are like over 6 feet tall, but the rest of them are like 5'2", 5'3", like pretty much consistently.
You got that one chick that just got signed to WWE. She was in TNA, Jordan Grace. I thought she was dominating in the Rumble there for a while tonight. She was in it last year too, but I thought for sure she would have been at least Final Four tonight.
Yeah, she had that great Piper Niven spot.
Oh yeah, man! Like she's
I love that.
Yeah, she's definitely made her debut. She was actually in the WWE as well. A lot of people didn't realize that, but yeah, that was her debut as far as being a contracted WWE wrestler. There's a lot of those girls are shorter than the top row. Zelina Vega is definitely one.
Well,
now,
to be fair, Rey Mysterio also is shorter than the top rope. Just about it.
But I mean, that kind of works for him because that's the men wrestlers, none of them are nearly as short as him. So, but with the women, they're all like they're pretty much all consistently very very short.
Yeah, and it affects the quality of the match too. Because I mean, like, they got some interesting spots in there, and there's definitely some talented women on the roster. But it's like you got these little tiny female wrestlers that run in and like they do stuff, and there's no impact to the moves, and they barely bounce off the ropes, which is important in
Well, it's
wrestling.
like Alexa Bliss came back tonight. I like Alexa Bliss. I don't have anything against
Huge pop. That was
Right.
crazy.
Oh yeah, people were very excited to see her.
Yeah, I expected her to be in the match longer than what she was.
But I mean, look at the size difference between her and like a Nia Jax or something like that.
Nia Jax is probably bigger than me, man.
So, like, I don't know. I mean, it's the believability some of the times with these people are. That's just a little bit of a constructive criticism there, I guess. But they've got a killer roster of women wrestlers though overall. Do any of you guys know? Now there were a couple people that I thought would be involved tonight that weren't on there. Becky Lynch, I thought for sure she would be.
She was there. She was in Indianapolis because I saw a photo with her and Seth earlier, and they even kind of alluded to that on the countdown show, like when they were talking about Charlotte returning for the Rumble, and then like Big E said something about like and her longtime rival, who's also been a former Royal Rumble winner, and it's like Becky Lynch, and it's like saying that she could possibly return, but I don't know what's the deal with her yet.
Jade Cargill too. What the hell's going on with her? Does anybody know?
Well, she got run over by a car, man. What are you talking about?
Well, she should have recovered by now. I mean, she's not a normal, female. Yeah. Maxine Dupree, though, yeah, I agree. Justin said that she didn't belong in the match. There were in both of the Rumble matches. There was a few questionable people. Ivy Niles, another one. She's another crazy short. Like, come on. I mean, at least she's got muscles and shit, I guess.
Well, at least with Maxine Dupree, like I get it because they even acknowledge that she's not very well trained and like she's just still kind of new to all this, and she even kind of acts that part too. Like she gets in there with these more skilled wrestlers than herself, and she acts all scared. So at least they do that with her character. It's not like B-Fab that she acts like a big badass when she gets there. She sucks.
Who the fuck even is? Where did she come from? Like, I know that she's always been like I didn't know it was even a wrestler. I thought that she was just like a valet
manager. Yeah, me too. Yeah. She was with that one group with that Top Dollar guy and
Prime Time.
Whatever those people
what
were
they
called.
called?
I don't know. That's how much I care about it.
Wasn't she with the Street Profits at one time too?
They put her with them, I think, for a little while.
And
that's another fucking tag team. Them motherfuckers. We'll talk about them here in a minute.
Yeah.
Piper Niven, though, I like her a lot. I think it's interesting that she's almost like a sidekick now, though.
Yeah.
Because she's damn good. She's really good.
Yeah, she's awesome too, man.
Jordan Grace got in there, looked great as well. She's got definitely a unique look. Alexa Bliss had been gone for what, close to 2 years? Is that right?
Yeah, something like that. Because she got married, and then I don't know. There was this stuff after Bray died. She was taking that to heart really bad too. I guess because she got
had a baby as well, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. She did. She had a baby as well.
So, towards the end of the match, you had some big, Trish Stratus was 25.
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte Flair returned at 27. Now, they announced Charlotte Flair was coming back, so that wasn't really a surprise.
Right. And that was one of my predictions. Like, she was my pick because there's just been a rumor mill going around that she wants a match against Tiffany Stratton at Mania. So, and then when she came in at number 27 in that match, and that's like the number that the most Royal Rumble winners have won from. So I was like, okay, yeah, she's winning it for sure.
Mhm. Yeah, I thought the same thing. I mean, I guess I'm okay with it. I mean, I look at the roster and I'm like, I'm not really sure who else I would have picked, but I'm just so tired of Charlotte. I don't know how you guys feel
Yeah.
about her. I think she's okay in the ring. I got nothing against her in ring. It's just her. She has the charisma of a corpse.
Yeah.
I can't stand her promos. And she got that mega push right out of NXT or whatever. And she just, I don't know, man.
It's kind of surprising that they would have that much faith in her to stay healthy for that big of a match because the last time she came back, she was instantly injured pretty much within what? It was like a week or two, I think, after she came back the last time.
Well,
Yeah, it
yeah,
was
and
really quick. Yeah.
the same thing happened with AJ Styles. Like he was out for a while, and then he came back for like one match or something, and got injured in that match. So, and then he showed up tonight in the men's rumble, which it'd been a while since he'd been on TV.
Who do you think Charlotte goes for? I think she goes for Rhea Ripley.
Um, hmm.
I was thinking
Well,
actually,
I was what I would want, but like I said, that the rumor mill right now is her and Tiffany Stratton at Mania. So I'd say that's the route they're going.
To me, the Rhea Ripley match would be a bigger match, though.
yeah, what do
It
they
it,
do with
it
Rhea?
would, yeah.
She needs something big at
Yeah,
Mania.
I think so. It, Charlotte really like. What did you guys think? Because like she's obviously done more work to her face.
Mhm.
She's lost more weight.
Yeah, I noticed that tonight. Yeah, big
She's
time.
the ring attire that she was wearing didn't help either, man. That was some bad looking shit.
That was all.
Like, did you notice the back? Like, the back of her tights were like saggy, like she'd shit her
She,
pants or
yes,
something.
that's exactly what I was saying.
Yeah.
I was watching it with
Yeah.
Brandon. He said the same thing.
I was like, what the hell? You know?
Yeah, man. I don't know. Like I said, she was my pick just because it's just, I just kind of figured that's what it would be. But like ultimately, I'm not really a fan of her like I used to be, because when she first came into this, like she's really talented. Like she's super good in the ring, but like I think just a lot of her success is because of nepotism, and she tries to like base a lot of her character around her dad's character. And even like after she won tonight, she was asked the ref to come up there and like hold the ropes open for her and stuff. And I was like, that's typical Ric Flair shit. Um, but yeah, I'm like pretty much a lot of other people. Like I'm getting kind of tired of her, but I've just been, just like a lot of other people as well. I've been watching this for so fucking long now. I just kind of have to live with it. It's not that, it don't make me mad. It don't make me like overly happy or anything. It's just like, it is what it is nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also had Julie in there from NXT. She's still
Mhm.
fairly new to the company, right? She hasn't been with them very long.
Yeah. I feel like she's going to be a
Japanese,
big deal too.
Japanese Italian combo there. That's a
Yeah.
little bit different too. She doesn't speak English at all, does she?
I don't know. I don't know if she does or
Yeah.
not.
So
I'm not sure.
that'll be a challenge if she can't speak the language. But it was good enough. I mean, the women. I think the women's rumble is more interesting just because most of the time they have a more loaded roster. It seems like with the women. But we'll get into the men's rumble here in just a second. The way they had this set up is kind of interesting because the next match was, let's see here, two
The
out of
tag
three
match.
falls. Yeah, the two out of three falls tag match, which I thought that was a weird gimmick for this match. I mean, I haven't been following the feud very much, but that's almost like a match you would see on Raw or something. The
Yeah.
two out of
I
three
thought the same
fall.
thing. I thought
Yeah.
the same thing because like and it's really the first 2 out of 3 falls match that I've seen in a while from WWE. Um, but I'll be honest with you, like I like both of these teams, and I thought the match, I thought it would go pretty long because it's a 2 out of 3 falls match, and I was like, this is going to be a fucking killer match. But I was a little let down by it if I'm being honest.
Oh shit, really? I thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, it was everything I thought it would be. What didn't you like though?
Well, I just thought it would go longer.
Oh, okay.
It seemed a little short for me for a 2 out of 3 falls match.
It
It
was
didn't need
pretty
that
quick.
ending.
Yeah.
The ending was what I thought ruined the whole thing. It didn't need that.
Well, I didn't think it made sense. I mean, like, because it confused the fuck out of me. Because I was like, the Street Profits go out there and attacked the faces in the match, and I'm like, okay, are they heel now? And then after the match is over, they attack the heels. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
They
This,
it seemed like maybe they're trying to make the name kind of thing. They want their title shot. They don't give a shit who's the
I
champs, and
guess.
maybe they're trying to form some sort of triangle tag match for Mania for the titles. I can see that maybe.
that
Well,
should be on the pre-show.
there's some weird story they've been had with
Fucking
him here
Street
lately.
Profits. They've got like fucking Chris Jericho hate with me. Like I just don't want to see them.
Oh, poor Chris Jericho. I mean, Jericho could have been one of the greatest of all time, but he fucking ruined himself.
The learning tree bulls. So anyway, DIY defeated the Motor City Machine Gun. Don't you guys think that they just kind of threw the Motor City Machine Guns out there and expected people to know them or whatever? Like that whole thing was kind of confusing. They were there on
I mean,
SmackDown. That was it.
the pretty people are pretty savvy nowadays. Like, if they're like hardcore into wrestling. I mean, I've been a fan of the Motor City Machine Guns for years. Dating back to like early days of TNA when they weren't even a tag team yet. I've liked both of those guys.
Yeah, I like the stuff they did with Punk and Ring of Honor. That they were there
Yeah.
for a while too. So I
Mhm.
mean, maybe that's what they thought, that the smarts and enough of the casuals might have given them some kind of reaction, and it was kind of quiet though, which I was surprised by.
Well, I mean, it's like Lyra Valkyria. She became the first women's intercontinental champion, and when she came out in the Rumble, like there was really no reaction for her. And I was like, damn, I kind of feel sorry for her for that. That sucks.
That was weird.
So yeah, Street Profits have kind of been like teetering back and forth on being heels. Like I don't know what they could do with those guys to make them interesting to me.
Well,
But
yeah, as a tag team, I agree with you. But like, if you could get them guys separated, I think that Montez Ford would really take off as a single star. I mean, he's definitely the more talented out of those two guys,
Yeah, for sure.
and has more charisma than out of the
Dawkins.
two. Yeah, yeah, Dawkins, that's his
you
name.
remember fucking Dawkins, like before they had the tag team, didn't he have like a gimmick, like his, he would have a gimmick where like he was stirring a fucking bowl or something like that. Wasn't that him? Do you remember
Yeah,
that?
yeah, that was
No,
like
I don't remember
Oh,
that.
yeah, that was like his taunt or
I'm like,
whatever.
what the fuck
Yeah.
is that? What are you doing? You fucking mixing up some mashed potatoes or something? He'll go back to that. He'll be mixing the bowl. They had some legends there tonight, though. I was excited to see
Yeah.
Rob Van Dam was there with his very unique looking wife. She was in the background acting crazy as shit.
Katie
Katie.
Forbes.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's pretty wild. That's just his wife, but he's got if he did have a girlfriend too. Like
yeah.
there's an interesting situation going on there with RVD.
RVD did get a huge pop. Like they should have brought him in as a surprise entrant in the Rumble. Like
I
people
thought
would
he
have-
was. I thought he was going to be in the Rumble.
Me too.
people
I
would have
said-
flipped.
Yeah, I said that on my prediction show. Like I said, I think RVD is going to be one of the guys in the Rumble because I think he's back on a Legends deal now with WWE. And when they were showing those one Legends, when they showed him, like the first one they showed was Ron Simmons, and then I seen RVD's wife right beside of him, but RVD wasn't in frame. I was like, oh well, RVD's there for sure. And I thought, if they didn't show him, like I was like, he's going to be in the Rumble. But when they showed him, I was like, oh fuck, he's in street clothes, so he's not going to be in it.
I couldn't believe that fucking John Mellencamp was there in the crowd.
Yeah,
I was like, what the fuck?
He looked like he did not want to be there either. And that
Dude,
guy's
like,
an asshole anyway.
I thought he had to have been a fan to be there. Why in the fuck would he want to, like, they couldn't have paid him. Come on, John, man, they can't come much rest.
Maybe he's got a concert on Netflix he's doing or something.
Right.
I don't know.
He is like, isn't he from Indiana, though? He is from Indiana, I think.
Well,
Maybe.
you know, that's another thing you mentioned. You remind me of Pat McAfee. You know, who was a kicker for the Colts. I thought for sure he would have been in the Rumble tonight again. As a surprise,
I didn't even think of that, but yeah, you're right. That
Yeah. Ice Cube son was in the crowd too. They showcased
yeah.
a bunch of Rick Steiner.
Kurt Angle was there, Mickey James, Godfather. Did you see the part when they show Godfather and like right when the camera comes on him, smoke is rolling out of his mouth?
Yeah.
I think he planned it that way.
And then like towards the end when the camera's moving away, he's like, he did that.
Oh yeah, I must have missed that.
Yeah, so he was puffing on something he shouldn't have been.
Stephen Amell was there, who I don't even really. I mean, I know he was on that show, the Arrow or something like that.
Yeah, he's buddies with Cody Rhodes.
Mm-hmm.
They have like a match at like
it was a SummerSlam, I think.
That and didn't they do some stuff in ROH too, like when Cody was doing Bullet Club stuff?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I thought so.
But yeah, that leads us to the ladder match for the undisputed WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes, baby, versus Kevin Owens. Cody with the current title, Kevin with the Winged Eagle Championship. And the build up to this is great. Kevin Owens is like, I think he might be the MVP of the entire fucking company, man. Like he is so great.
Listen,
Agreed.
Kevin Owens has got some of the best like humor when it comes to wrestling. Like he's a comedic genius. He's got like that deadpan style of humor. And but I'll tell you, I was a little bit let down by his attire tonight because I was because he that shirt he wore tonight, he's wore that before. I was expecting something new and different.
I was thinking maybe they're going to start selling that shirt or something is why he wore it again.
Possibly. That would be a good idea. Actually.
I could see that.
But yeah, he's great. I think he's definitely a better heel.
For sure.
So it'll be interesting to see. I think that they're still going to do Sammy versus Kevin Owens at Mania somehow. They're going to get that to happen, but I think he definitely deserves a world championship run again at some point.
The thing is, Owens and Sami Zayn have had a match before at Mania. So, and those guys, I get it. Like their matches are always good, but they have had a fuck ton of matches throughout their careers together. Honestly, I don't want to see that match at Mania. I would rather see Sami Zayn like turn heel along with Owens and maybe them tag up against somebody or something,
They see, that's the thing, they've done that before too. And it's like with those guys, they've done so much together. It's kind of pointless for them to even, like you said, the matches are great all the time. I love them. And they always get the fight forever chant and everything. And it's run its course. Like they both need something big, but what you do at this point, I don't know. Even with 2 nights of Mania, like where do you fit those guys into anything?
I don't know, but you said you followed their stuff for a while too. So have you seen their match when they were in Ring of Honor when Sammy was El Generico and Kevin Owens, Kevin Steen? It was, I think it was at Final Battle. I can't remember what year it was, but it's like. It's like because he comes in with one mask, and then at the end, like he changes the mask because it's one that Kevin Steen had like stole from him, and like that's probably their best match that they've had with one another. Because I think that was when Kevin Steen left the company after that, and that's when he got signed by WWE.
Yep. Yeah, that was great stuff. I mean, I'm trying to remember. I know one of them wasn't that well done. There was a bunch of botches. I think that was the Battleground 2016 match, I believe. But
yeah.
I mean, damn, man, I love both of those guys. They're super talented, but I don't know what the hell you do with them. It's like it's the rosters like it's so much going on. You know what I mean? Like everybody's sort of got like their own personal rivalries, and they have a story, but it's like how do you pay that off without doing the same thing again, putting them against each other?
Yeah.
It just seems like they're going to be doing something together, though, by how they're
Yeah,
building it.
they're
I don't know
definitely
what.
going. I don't want to see a match against each other, but they got to be involved with one another. I mean, it's kind of that's the seeds they're planting right now with that. But somebody in the chat reminded me of something. They said they wanted to see Fatu and Owens. What do you guys think about Jacob Fatu? Like, what do you think they're going to do with him?
I don't
I
know.
definitely think that they realize that he's going to be he's going to be one of their top guys at some point.
I-
But this year, I don't think you do anything huge with him. I mean, if they wanted to do Strowman and Fatu and just have Fatu beat him, they could do something like that. But I think that eventually they want to build him up, and I would even make him kind of like the renegade of the bloodline, and he kind of does shit that's crazier than what any of the others would do or whatever.
To
Like,
where
oh,
to where like
you've
that they
went
kind of get scared of him
you've
and
went
like
too far, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they kind of just it's like, well, we've lost control of this guy. We've created a monster type shit. Yeah, I can definitely see that. But tonight there was kind of a moment in the men's rumble between him and Braun Breaker, and they've had I want to say like a month or so ago they had an interaction with one another. So maybe that's the route they're going at Mania is for the Intercontinental title between those two.
Could be.
That'd be great.
Get back to the ladder match though. This
Yeah.
was a crazy match. There was some insane spots in this
Oh
that I
yeah.
don't know how in the hell. I mean, they had to have gotten beat up pretty bad in this with the ladder and everything. And it was a great freaking match. It was probably match of the
Always.
night, I think.
I
Yeah, for
agree.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah, they fucking tore the house down with that shit, man. Like, and it really was kind of reminiscent, like all because they had like 3 or 4 ladders in the ring at one time, and they even brought in like that little hornswoggle ladder, and I was using that and stuff. I was like, and it was kind of reminiscent of the match, the Ladder Wars match between El Generico, Kevin Steen, and ROH.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this is really cool. I was like, and the last time Cody was in a ladder match was in AEW against Sammy Guevara, and he almost got fucking killed in that. So I'm really surprised, like he did took some of the bumps he did tonight.
Reporter Jumpin' Jeff Farmer says that Cody might have to give the title up. Multiple injuries reported.
Wow.
It's a work.
Shit, I hope so. The last thing I want is for any of these guys to get injured right before Mania.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking though. I mean, why do you do crazy shit like that though? Like right before Mania.
I don't
But
know, but Owens is a pretty safe worker though. He always has been. So, like, but some of those bumps though did look pretty rough.
yeah, the
Yeah.
ladder, you ain't no working a fucking ladder, man.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
But I
some
mean,
of those falls, yeah.
that's kind of his whole deal, though. I mean, there's almost nothing that KO won't do. Somehow he always seems to come out of it like unscathed. But he better be careful. Like it's you've only got so many times before you can keep doing that shit. And
Yeah. That
before something
final
goes
bump
wrong.
that he took too looked so fucking great. Like he
Oh,
was
oh,
fucking,
man, it was perfect.
Yeah,
Like,
it was.
yeah, it was absolutely perfect. Like it's like you would have thought that Cody fucking killed him.
right.
I mean,
Yeah,
he
'cause
just
he was,
stays
like,
there. He's like
Yeah.
hunched over inside that ladder. It's just so awesome.
So, yeah, I mean, I think everybody expected Cody was going to win this match, but it was a fun match, crazy spots and everything. They beat the hell out of each other,
Oh yeah.
and they're going to be bruised up pretty bad at the very least, maybe worse. Hopefully not.
I
But,
tell you what I thought was going to happen, because when they got out to the crowd, was battling through the crowd, I thought they were going to go to the back for a minute, because if you watch the pre-show when it showed some of the different wrestlers arriving to the arena, Kevin Owens is in a golf cart that he took from a staff, and he like took duct
Oh
tape or
yeah,
something and put KO on the front of it. I was like,
yeah.
he's gonna run Cody over with that golf cart during that match or
that would
something.
be killer. That brings us though to the main event, the men's Royal Rumble match. This was an hour and 20 minutes long. Pretty damn long for a Rumble match.
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio. Now, somebody in the chat, because I was asking a buddy of mine this while this was going on, how many Royal Rumble events were started with fucking Rey Mysterio? It seems like almost every damn one of them for the last 10, 15 years, Rey is always like number one or number two.
It does
I
seem
can
like that.
I can only think of two. Just this one and then the one in 2006. Did he start other ones besides?
It just feels like he
seems
has.
like he did. Yeah. Somebody let us know in the chat, but it seems like he's always opening up the Royal Rumble match. But it was Penta was number two, so they had a face off, and it's crazy that Penta's already
Dude,
like 10 times the star that he was in AEW with like what, 3 matches?
Yeah, and I was just talking about that earlier on my stream that I did today. Like, Penta is more over in his career now than he ever has been, and the dude's been around for years. I mean, he was, he did a lot of stuff in AAA and in Lucha Underground, and that shit was awesome. I don't know if you ever watched Lucha Underground,
Yeah,
but I love that shit. And then he was popular in AEW, but not any more popular than any of the other guys in that company, if you're asking me. And then he was supposed to cut when he signed with WWE. Ray Phoenix, his brother, was supposed to come with him, but like that whole deal with AEW where Tony Khan got real fucking petty and just like, oh well, you were injured for a while, so we're going to extend your contract for the time you missed. And like Ray Phoenix has been on like Twitter and shit, like acting like he's been held fucking prisoner. It's so awesome. But he's, as soon as his contract's up, he's coming to WWE too.
Oh, hell yeah.
AEW's a great place if you're like a really lazy wrestler that just wants to get paid.
You just want to get a lot of money.
Jesus Christ, like they'll bring somebody out there for one match, and it's possible you won't see him again for 6 months.
Yeah.
What are they doing? They're just sitting at home. They're not doing anything.
I mean, look at Edge, man. Look at Edge. So I just think he fucking ruined his legacy by going there.
Yes.
I mean, he's going by his real name, Adam Copeland, for a while, and that's fine. If he can't go by Edge, you go by. But now he's changed it to Cope. Like, what the fuck is that?
That's because that's what he's doing with his career.
I mean, yeah, well, that's a good point. Yeah,
the rated R superstar Cope.
I mean, and the thing is, he can't get past the whole Edge thing, because if you've even seen one of his new AEW shirts, it says something like Legend, but like the Edge is like kind of highlighted in the shirt.
Yeah,
so,
they better be careful about that. WWE, dude, let me tell you something. There was that last show that me and Crater did. I was going to use, I think it was the VHS commercial for, or maybe it was the TV commercial for Bunkhouse Stampede or something like that. And legit, immediately that video was blocked worldwide.
Nope. It's done,
so
son.
they don't play around. And you're talking about something crazy obscure too, like a fucking commercial for, a pay-per-view from 1988.
Yeah, and not a very good one to boot.
No. So yeah, I mean, there were some questionable entries though in this Rumble as well. Santos Escobar, dude, that's another guy that's got fucking go away heat. Jesus Christ. Holy shit.
Listen to this when I tell you, this is probably going to sound bad, but like, did you notice that there was a point in the match where majority of the wrestlers in the ring were Mexican?
Yeah. Mexican Americans.
Like, and then there was even one point where there was like I think there was like two or three Mexicans. There was Finn Balor who's Irish, Drew McIntyre who's Scottish, and then they had like two or three Samoans in there. I was like, this seems a little sus, if you ask me.
I mean, how many of them is it Samoan wise? It's like what, 7 guys altogether? Imagine
Well,
if they had used all of them, it would have been the damn
yeah,
Samoan Rumble.
yeah, it's crazy, man.
So what? You had Otis was in there. There's a showdown with Otis and Gable, or Otis really looked like he smacked the fuck out of Gable. That had to have hurt.
Oh, dude,
Oh,
he did. Like that was
Yeah,
wild.
yeah. Braun Breaker came in. Man, I love Braun Breaker, and I think that he's definitely going to be a main event guy someday. But I think he's missing something. There's something. There's a piece of the puzzle that's not in there in his character, or
I think it
maybe
might be character.
yeah,
Like,
maybe he needs a manager of some sort.
Who did you say, Braun Breaker?
Yeah,
Dude, I don't know, but I think that dude rules. Like I think he's, and this is probably a lot of people won't this will a lot of people won't agree with this, but I think he's got the best spear that
oh
there
yeah,
is.
fuck yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
without question. I agree.
I mean everything else is great. I just think like maybe character wise, there's something that they need to do. I don't know what, but I can't put my finger on it. But yeah,
I
other
think
than
putting
that,
them
he's got
in.
the.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, I was just going to say, other than that, I think he is definitely the it factor written all over him.
and
Agreed.
I have like this is kind of a weird opinion, but like I feel like he's more over in the little time that he's been there than his dad ever was. I just,
I could see
I just,
that. Yeah.
I mean, like he's definitely, I think, more talented than his dad ever was. Um, I mean, and a lot of times, I see more of his uncle Scott Steiner in him than I do his actual dad.
Yeah, a lot of his mannerisms and stuff, and really just his voice as well. It sounds a lot like Scott.
Yeah, for real, it
Yeah.
does.
It'll be interesting to see what happens when Scott Steiner's son comes in. Because I know Scott did say that he wants to wrestle, but he's finishing out his football thing right now. So he'll be in there at some point, and it'll
Yeah.
be interesting to see. And maybe that's what it'll take. I mean, hopefully it's not too much longer. And I think with Braun though, like he just needs some sort of a story angle, maybe open his character up a little bit more. I mean, because he's just been having like feuds and stuff like that. But like if he had an actual storyline, maybe he's having more promo segments, talking with people, like opening his character up just a little bit more. Maybe that's what it'll take. But I mean, he's already over. He's got the in ring. I think he's decent enough on the mic. So
Yeah, there is definitely something up with it. Like they're not sure what to do with him right now, like you said, because as I mentioned earlier, he's had those little interactions with Jacob Fatu, and this past Monday on Raw, he had the little brief interaction with Penta. So I don't know, man. Like I really don't know what they're if they even know what they're doing with him right now.
they're probably just so shocked that like he's caught on everything as quick as he has. Like he's probably been the fastest rising star that they've had in a long time. Like it's just pure
Yeah,
athlete,
he's
pure
a natural
intensity.
for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, continuing on, Braun Breaker, was pretty much killing everybody. He was 7th in the match, and eliminated Carmelo Hayes. What is it? Gable and Otis and Escobar, and kind of going through
I show
everybody.
speed.
Yeah, Akira Tozawa started coming out there, and I was like, literally, I said right in the middle, I was like, boys, you got to be fucking kidding me. A
That's what I
spot for
said.
fucking Tozawa. But yeah, they took him out really before he got in the match, and Triple H just decided. I had no idea who this was. He just said he called him Speed or
Yeah.
something like that, and evidently he's a YouTuber.
Yeah.
And Rambo Raff evidently is not a big fan of him.
I'm not a fan either, so that makes two.
I don't know who he is. I have no idea.
I'm not either, and the only reason I know who he is because of my son and my nephews, and they're like they lost their fucking mind over him being in the Rumble. So I was excited to see them excited, even though I have no idea who this guy is or what kind of content he puts out or anything. I know he
I
has
don't know.
he has his own Prime drink because he's buddies with Logan Paul. That's all I know.
But yeah, I mean, he didn't last very long in the match. The spear that he took was fucking insane. Like Braun definitely didn't go light on that fucking guy, which I laughed at. I was like, God, he's fucking.
It was worth it just for that,
Like
because I mean, I was pretty shocked that they took Tozawa out with a
forearm.
What was a forearm? Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck is that?
What is
Like,
Tozawa though?
Yeah,
that's true too. But I mean, Jesus Christ, a forearm.
Me and my brother-in-law were laughing about that. It's like, so when he got who was it Carmelo Hayes that hit him in the back of the head or whatever? I was like, he just hit him with the forearm. I was like, that took him out for the rest of the night. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah.
When they took the cameras backstage for like a split second, I thought maybe Graves might come out and do a spot, because they had it in that position where, like, it's gorilla. But I'm like, maybe Graves might be like behind the monitor. I don't know if you guys have been following the whole thing with Graves and the whole his disappointment with NXT and all that. So I was like, that would have been the perfect spot to put Graves in there really quick. I always liked his work on NXT, if you guys remember him back then. But,
Yeah, it's been a long time though. It's like over 10 years since he wrestled, I think.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting.
I tell you what I thought was going to happen when they went backstage, because there had been a rumor for a while, because Mick Foley had got back into shape and he looks a lot better now than he has in a long time. And there was a possibility of him being an entry in the Rumble. And when they went backstage, it took me back to, I think it was the 2004 Rumble when someone, I think, got took out. I can't remember if it was Test or who it was. But he got replaced by Mick Foley because, like, Stone Cold was like the commissioner or something at the time, and he was like pointing at somebody on out of view out of shot. He's like, "You get out there. You're the next one." And then it's Foley, because Foley was like coming back at that time to have a feud with Randy Orton, and I was like, "Oh shit, are they gonna bring Foley in again?" But so to see I Show Speed be the one that got to replace Akira Tozawa, I was like, what?
That's like a fart in church, man. Yeah. The Sheamus came in there, who I love fucking Sheamus, and it always seems like he's a short end to everything. But I mean, he has been there forever, so yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that was one of his first pieces of merchandise ever.
I don't know if you know this, Crater. Sheamus follows the Dead Pit Instagram page.
No way.
I
really?
swear to God. I'll send you a screenshot. Yeah. I don't know what from, but he followed it.
Dude,
and I was like,
what if he's just like a diehard fan of you guys? He's like
I don't know.
shrine in his closet and shit.
But yeah, Jimmy Uso came in. Jacob Fatu entered. Man, Jacob Fatu, if we haven't talked about it enough on here, I think within the next couple of years he'll be a main event guy for sure.
Oh yeah.
If they can keep him under control enough, he's kind of a loose cannon from what I understand, for real. So,
well, I tell you what I would do with him. Like I said, right now they've been kind of showing these interactions between him and Braun Breaker. I would put those two together in a program. Let Jacob Fatu take the Intercontinental title and have a good run with it, and then that could elevate Braun Breaker into the world title scene. Because if you remember, when Jey Uso was the Intercontinental Champion, Braun Breaker is the one that beat him back for the title. So Jey could have this like program with Gunther and win the title at Mania, and then after Mania, he could enter in another program with Braun Breaker. I mean, that's exactly what I would do.
It's not bad.
Yep,
I can see that.
Work. I think that they need to hire you in AEW, man.
They should,
because
I need the money.
Yeah. Joe Hendry from TNA. He is the TNA champion right now. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
Joe Hendry.
So he entered at number 15 and got a pretty huge pop, man, for
Yeah.
TNA. Like I was
Well,
like, wow, what the hell?
as far as like the indie darling fans and stuff, like that guy's one of the biggest like indie darling. If you can call TNA independent wrestling still, um, but like yeah, he's huge right now, and like. And a lot of people complain about comedy in wrestling, but that's one of my fucking favorite things about wrestling is the humor and stuff within it. And he has super funny like music videos that he makes on like all the people he's feuding with. Like he was doing this feud when he was making those NXT appearances there for a little bit, where he was feuding with Ethan Page, and some of that shit was hilarious. So yeah, I could see why like he would get the pop that he did tonight.
Yeah.
Continuing on, though, go through some more people. Roman Reigns, I think everybody knew he was going to be in it, showed up. It was a pretty cool face off with Fatu and Reigns. So, what do you do with Roman Reigns? Roman Reigns did not win the Rumble tonight.
Well, it's starting to come a little bit more clear for me because since Punk didn't win, he's going to enter some kind of program with Roman Reigns. And I think it's going to be kind of a three-way thing with Seth Rollins also involved. Plus, we got to think about that favor that Paul Heyman owes Punk. We still don't know what that is yet. So,
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking like just because Jay won doesn't mean that any of those guys won't make it to the main event because Cody has to face somebody. So he's going to have challengers coming out of nowhere, left and right, and it's going to be some of the most obvious guys. Do you think that we could see shades of WrestleMania 2000 with a fatal four-way for the WWE Championship?
I hope not, man.
I mean, I wouldn't hate it, but I
I
think
mean, there's just so many guys like that could be in that. I mean, the obvious ones would be Roman, Punk, probably Seth versus Cody.
yeah. So
I can see
I
that.
think that would be perfect if they did go that route. That would be the perfect four to put together, or the perfect three to put against Cody. Um,
Well, you
but
got to. Yeah, I was just thinking of this though. The Elimination Chamber is also coming up. So the
Yeah,
rule is whoever wins the Elimination Chamber.
oh yeah, I didn't think about that.
I forgot. Yeah,
Yeah.
So, like I said, like Cena has been pushed like in advertising for Elimination Chamber like crazy here lately. So that was one of the reasons why I didn't think he was going to win the Rumble tonight. I was like, well, they're going to have him in the Elimination Chamber, and that could also be the thing because where they've been kind of like pushing Cody as the new Cena almost. And with this being Cena's last year, maybe he wins the Elimination Chamber and then he goes on to face Cody. And then, because they've been teasing like a Cody heel turn for a while, I think now. And if that match does end up happening, Cena beats Cody for the title at Mania, that's going to, like kind of push Cody, I think, enough over the edge to where he can turn heel.
hmm
All right. So moving along here, towards the end, you had number 26, Dominic Mysterio, who's fucking. I love Dominic Mysterio, but only like his character. Like in the ring, he's still like, he's okay, but he's great. His character's great. Very funny.
I love Dom, man. Yeah, like just like not as a wrestler, like you said, but like his character is awesome, and I don't think it should change. Like I've had ideas of like how they could turn him face, but if they turn him back face, I just think it's going to ruin it because he's perfect as a heel.
Did they ever show anything? Did they ever follow up on the what do they call it? The dark arts of luchador or whatever
No,
with him and Chad Gable.
no, but I think we may see more of that on this coming Raw, maybe.
I was
Because
hoping it would be like Dominic in a mask or something like that. Like
Yeah.
yeah, maybe.
that
I
would
don't
be
know,
just so
man.
great.
I don't
That
know
would be
who it would be.
amazing.
One of the people I thought of it because I know he just left AEW and there's been talk of him coming back to WWE is Aleister Black. But
I
I
was going to
mean,
mention him.
I don't know if that would because that's the thing is his like wrestling school is called like Dark Arts. wrestling school or something like that. So that was why I thought it might be him. And he might be somebody they may be bringing in to be part of the new leader of the Judgment Day or something. I don't know,
Mhm.
but I don't know if the Judgment Day is going to be around much longer now because JD just got injured this past Monday in that match, and then
Right. Yeah.
um, I don't know. There's been kind of a fallout here, like kind of teasing a fallout between Finn and Dom here lately, and then I think that they're going to end up having Dom and Liv split because they could do like a thing with her where like she's like cheating on him or something, and he finds out, and then maybe people start feeling sorry for him, and that's how they turn him face or something. I don't know.
But ultimately there was final two in there, Cena and Jey Uso, and man, pretty much the whole time I was like, well, Cena is got to be Cena, right? And we were
Yeah,
talking about it in the room too. Everybody that I was watching this with, and they didn't. They gave it to Jey Uso, which is kind of interesting. And it makes sense. And I saw where Rambo was like, how did they give it to Jey Uso? You know,
he's over like Rover, man.
he really
Exactly.
is. Like if you watch the show, he gets the biggest reaction on the show. He just
Yeah,
does every
Mhm.
show.
I mean, a lot of people don't like it, but it's facts, man. Like he has the best entrance out of any of those guys on the roster right now. I mean, like, and he's interactive with the fans, and fans love that shit, especially the little kids. Because you see,
Yep.
like, I've noticed the past few times that he's come out through the crowd, like he always stops at like one little kid on his way to the ring, and has the kid stand beside him and do the arm thing, and I'm like, that made that little kid's fucking life, dude.
Yeah, that's totally by design. Probably even more so on his part than The Office. I mean, he's smart enough to like he knows what he's doing. And I
Hell
mean,
yeah.
hell, like you said, the popularity of him, and every time there's a celebrity, they come out during his entrance and they go down to the ring with him. He's
You know
selling
Yeah.
all
how
the merch.
you know
So
how
it's
crazy it is though, because those guys have been there forever.
yeah.
And then for him to just go off by himself with this new gimmick and it to get over like it is, that's just unheard of, really. You don't.
Did you Did you guys see on the Netflix debut Raw when he came out with like that guy that was a rapper? I don't even know what that guy's name was, but the guy was like smoking a joint on the way to
Yeah.
the ring.
That's Travis Scott. Yeah.
Oh, okay, Travis Scott. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah. RVD was jealous right there. I know he was.
That was definitely a first. That was a Raw first. So that,
Yeah, I couldn't believe
at
that
least
they
on
actually let
camera.
that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, what the hell? I mean, I saw it in his hand, but then like when he
Oh,
lit it
dude,
and started smoking,
I
I'm
was
like,
I was
wow.
laughing for probably at least a good 5 minutes on that. That killed me, dude.
So, I mean, with this show, I think this is a solid enough Rumble. I would have liked to have seen more surprises on the men's side
I
of the
agree. Yeah.
Rumble. There
Yeah.
wasn't much really there, oddly
There
enough. But
there was no NXT guys in the men's rumble at all.
yeah, who's
That
the
was
NXT champion now? I was trying to figure that out, but
Oba Femi, I think is his name, and
okay.
then but
Yeah.
they got a lot of other top guys like Ethan Page, Trick Williams. And Trick Williams has like a really catchy like chant too, like whoop that trick, and I
I'm
thought for
surprised he
sure.
wasn't in there.
Yeah, me too. I was like, "What the fuck? They didn't put him in there." I thought he would have been because he's about to come up onto the main roster. Yeah,
Mhm.
that I would guess he would be at least, and
Hmm.
for him to not be showcased in the Rumble, I was like, that's odd.
So, I mean, I guess we have kind of an idea on where they're going, but it's
Yeah,
not. When Vince was in charge, it was so crazy predictable. Like you could
yeah,
guess pretty much everything that they're going to do. Right now, as is, aside from maybe Jay versus Gunther, well, I don't really know any of the damn matches. I don't. I mean, for certain, what any of them are going to be for Mania. What do you guys think?
I mean, That's a little difficult to say because there's so many intersecting storylines,
Yeah,
especially on Raw. Like so many people have a problem with this guy, and it's like it all connects together. So it's, I mean, it made sense at least for the eliminations portions, like at the end, like the final four, or I guess final five, like all those guys were more focused on their personal issues and storylines with each other, and like a lot of inner fighting, and they weren't really focused on winning the match. And I don't mind Jay winning at this point because, like you said earlier, Crater, it kind of is what it is.
yeah.
I mean, business wise, I see it. It was kind of a swerve, but yeah, I don't know what you do like with all those other guys.
Yeah, it's like you mentioned earlier. Like I had not even thought about the possibility of them doing a fatal four way main event match at Mania again for a title. Um, but then that leaves if you look at those guys that would be involved, like that, kind of there's a whole like triangle like feud going on. It seems like now between Punk and Rollins and
Yeah.
Roman Reigns, but that leaves Cena out of the picture, and
Well,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
that's the thing with Cena. I know it's his last run and everything, and they want it to be a big deal, and I think everybody expects it to be a title match, but it doesn't really have to be. You could just give
No,
him a big opponent, and it'll
right.
be big just because it's Cena's last Mania match. That kind of sells it in itself, at least to me.
Well, I tell you what, like there was a guy that I thought for sure was going to be in the men's rumble tonight, and that's Randy Orton.
Mm,
And if they're not going to put Cena in a title match at Mania, then I think that his last WrestleMania match should be against Orton because they kind of came into the company together. And I think it would be a perfect last WrestleMania match for Cena to kind of like reignite that feud between those two. Because
I
they,
think Randy said that, didn't he? Didn't he say he wanted to face Cena
I
at
know that
Mania again?
he's mentioned it, and I think it makes sense. I mean that was if they're not going to put Cena in a title match, that's the only guy that I could think of that would fit
Well,
perfectly.
there's still a chance for Cena to get in a title match though. So
Yeah,
the
there is.
Hmm.
elimination
Yeah.
chamber. And that's what I see. I mean, to me, that's the thing. If they're not going to do anything with The Rock this year, which it doesn't seem like they're doing, I would. They've Cody and Cena have never really faced one on one, at least like this incarnation of the American Nightmare. So I think that that's the match that people would maybe want to see. Cena's not winning that match though. I mean, I can't see
No.
him winning the
God,
title and then
I hope not.
I think the whole story of like this final run is he gets so close, but he doesn't get he doesn't break the record or whatever.
Well, the
That's
thing is, like he's supposed to be competing this entire year. So like it's not like he has his WrestleMania match and then that's going to be his last match. So they're gonna have to come up with something for him to last out the full year.
Hmm.
So I don't know.
What that would be, I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't either, man. But I think that's what I really enjoy about the current product is that we have no fucking clue what's going to happen at this point. And like Wes said, years ago when Vince was in charge, so much shit was predictable.
Yeah.
So I think it's to me at least in my perspective, I've been enjoying it a lot more here lately the past year or so.
Hmm. Yeah,
Orton's still
me too.
selling a fake pile driver. Scott says.
I mean, with Cena though, like, do you really want to focus his attention on like having 2 to 3 month feuds if this is his last year with like guys that he's already had matches with? Should he be putting people over? I mean, because you look at that last pool of guys that were in the ring, maybe the last 6 to 7, he's probably had a match with all those guys anyway. So should he be putting people over on his last run? Or
I mean, he probably should, and this is probably just me being selfish, but it being Cena's last year, I want to see a greatest hits tour from him. Be honest, I
Mhm.
want to see him, face these guys he's faced before, for the last
Okay.
time.
Mm.
So we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, I mean, when is WrestleMania? The first week in April again? Is that what they're doing?
I don't know. Like I
I'm
thought
not
I
sure.
seen it was like either the end of April this year
It's
or
April 19th and April 20th.
Okay,
that's
so
right. Oh yeah, it's
it's a
on the same day as
little
Easter.
Mhm.
later, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll have to stay tuned for that. I'm sure we'll do a post show for that as well. But this was a fun show, man. I always loved even a bad Royal Rumble, still pretty fun show to watch. I've seen the 1996 Royal Rumble numerous times, and I still enjoy it.
I thought this
It's
was
not
a
very
great
good.
Royal Rumble. I don't know what you're talking about.
What 96?
No, I'm talking about tonight, brother.
You like the Headhunters in '96?
Buddy, I like '96 because Shawn Michaels won that. He went for he was accomplishing the boyhood dream.
That's
Doug
right.
Gilbert, boys. Here comes Doug Gilbert. You remember how many fucking times Doug Gilbert was in the Royal Rumble and nobody knew who the fuck he was?
I didn't. I mean, I don't think I knew who any of that Gilbert bunch was until I was older because I was
Oh,
10 when the
Doug
'96.
Gilbert, boss.
Yeah.
But
Speaking of Gilbert, though, I saw they're doing Eddie Gilbert for the Dark Side of the Ring,
Oh, really?
really?
Oh,
the
that's
season
awesome.
6. Yeah, they got Vader. I know they're doing what's her name, Daphne, which is interesting.
Oh, that's great. I love
Yeah,
her, man.
it's some interesting ones on there. I'm surprised, like how they keep every year they
have
surprise me with the
have they
stories.
done Mike Awesome yet?
No,
That would be
Oh, that would be a good one for
it
sure.
really would be. Yeah,
yeah.
What about
I think that would be
Canyon?
a good one.
Did they do
they
one on
did him.
They
Canyon?
did.
They did.
They did. Okay, I must not have seen that one yet. Then
Yeah. So, but yeah, guys, I appreciate everybody tuning in and everything. And what do you guys got? Crater's got a brand new channel. We definitely need to
yeah.
mention it. Crater Mania. What you got coming up on your channel? What's on there right now?
Well, I've done the past couple weeks. I've done some streams. Like the first video I did on there was just like a pre-recorded, but I was starting to realize because I'm gonna try the live stream, and I think I like doing that format a lot better. It's a lot easier. I don't have to do any kind of editing or anything. I don't have to worry about that shit. Um, and so this past week I just did Spielberg Mania, where I covered several of Spielberg's movies that he directed. And like I said, I just did my first like wrestling video earlier today, which was just a prediction video for Rumble. And tomorrow I got another live stream I'll be doing on 4 different Muppet movies that I watched this week and a couple Bill Murray movies. So if anybody likes that stuff, just come check that out tomorrow night.
Cool.
Awesome. Mark, what do you got coming up? Anything you want to?
I don't have anything coming up. I got to get on it.
Yeah,
I've
man, plan this shit out.
I've been pretty lazy.
I don't know if this is true or not, but Justin Smith is saying that they wanted to do one on Mike Awesome, but his wife didn't allow them to do it.
That's interesting since they did one on Owen Hart, and Martha Hart is like very stubborn about that shit. So they did that. So that's surprising.
Yeah. That whole story, though, the Mike Awesome story is, I mean, that's always bothered me just because I thought he was one of those guys that was going to be like a main event, big name star. He could, to me, he had all the ability to be that big star, but it just never happened. And in the way that he went out, I mean, it's kind of crazy how that. I think he retired so he could spend more time with his family, and then his wife, and they were leaving him and everything, and he just hung himself. I think was the story.
Well, you were talking about he was going to be you thought he was going to be a big main event guy. And I thought the same thing, man, because he was awesome in ECW. But what
Loved
really,
his run in ECW.
yeah, man, even when he was like, going to be the obvious winner in matches when he was like feuding against Spike Dudley and guys like that. But it was entertaining to see like him just like toss Spike Dudley like fucking 20 yards across.
Well, those
arena.
matches that he had with Tanaka was freaking nuts.
Yeah,
Man.
especially
yeah.
the one at the first one night stand. That's probably the best match that they had with one another. But I
Yeah.
think what really fucked him was when he went to WCW and they were giving him these like really weird gimmicks like that 70s guy and fat chick
Well,
thriller
at
and all that
first,
shit.
wasn't they were positioned to be like a main event guy at first, and then they just totally dropped it because wasn't he feuding with like Kevin Nash or something like when he
Yeah,
first
he-
debuted?
Mhm.
He was, but then it's just like it just kind of they brought in. I think that was shortly before Russo came in, and they just like changed everything. And I think they ended up putting Mike Awesome like a part of Team Canada with like Lance Storm and all those guys. Even Hacksaw Jim Duggan was a part of Team Canada at one point. And it's like
Yeah,
so
they shaved
bizarre.
his
It's a
beard. I remember
bizarre.
that. Yeah, Duggan without a beard. It was very weird looking. But next thing that we've got coming up is tomorrow night at 10 p.m. The interview with David Gregory of Severin Films. It's a lot of fun. He's one of those guys that doesn't really, if it's something that he wants to talk about, you're gonna hear it in great detail. So
Oh, yeah.
that was a real good one, and that one is dropping tomorrow at 10. It's about an hour and a half interview, and for members of the Patreon page, it's 2.5 hours. So there's an extra hour
Uncut.
Nice.
that is uncut. That's a lot of stuff that Felcher, because we kept Felcher on there a little bit longer, and so we may release some of that later on down the line, but it's going to be exclusive on the Patreon page.
Oh,
2.5 hours.
Got some extra scoops with Felcher.
Yes, there is. Like one I can talk about because I will release the video of this at some point. And I asked him, I was like, the Hunter's Blood that's coming out, is the packaging going to be like uniform with? And I was thinking that he was going to say, well, no, it's going to be a little bit smaller. We're going to try to, it's not going to be as big as the Trick or Treat. But he said that Hunter's Blood more than likely will be a bigger box than Trick or Treat. And I'm like, okay.
Wow.
Yeah,
Didn't see that. But
he's
okay.
planning some crazy shit for that. So
Hey, I've never seen that movie. I have that on VHS somewhere, but I've never watched it. Is it any good?
I've never seen it either. I've never seen it. I think it's along the lines of like Deliverance or something like that, right?
Yeah, more or less. Yeah. I don't know.
Is it as
That's-
disturbing as Deliverance?
No, I wouldn't say so. But I mean, I don't mind it. That's going to be very, very subjective and probably really divisive for some.
But yeah, some stuff with David Gregory. He is big into the video nasties, and there is one video nasty that has never come out officially on Blu-ray. He talks about that and why that is, and some fun, a lot of fun stuff. Actually, Uncle Bill showcases his dick demon to David. And we get into all that. Pretty much anything that you would want us to talk about with him. We talked about it. Cruel Jaws, all that debacle with Universal. So
I've never seen Cruel Jaws either, and that's one I have planned to watch later this year for my
Crater,
channel.
you will fucking love Cruel Jaws.
Well, listen, I'm doing it later this week for like they have Shark Week every week, so I'm doing a Shark Week like thing for my channel, and that's one of the movies I've never seen it before, so I said I'll throw it on there.
You'll love that one. Hulk Hogan lookalike starring in it. So
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that guy.
He should have fucking leg dropped the shark. That'd been so killer if that was
Yeah.
actually in the movie. All right, guys. But yeah, it's been fun. We will have to do it again soon. And,
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Check everybody's site out and everything. I will link it in the description after the show. So we will catch you guys next time. I'd like to tell people thumbs up the video, Uncle Bill.
Would you?
Yes. Thumbs it up with violence and fury and just love everything about it.
You hit the heart button, then you hit the ass button, then you hit the go fuck yourself button. Follow that up with the I don't give a shit button.
There's all kinds of wonderful shirts over at shop.deadpit.com. Simply the best horror shirts. On TeePublic, there are others, but they all suck. You can get some Dead Pit radio shirts. You can get Last South on the left. The Hills Have Eyes. Texas Chainsaw. Oh, wait, you can't say Texas Chainsaw. All kinds of shirts, folks. You're gonna love them. Shop.deadpit.com.
Special thanks goes out to our supporters on Patreon. Do you know what kind of stuff you can get on Patreon, Uncle Bill, starting at only $1 a month?
What's that?
Access to every Dead Pit show since 2005. We got almost 200 fan commentaries that we've done over the decades.
We have a literal jukebox full of songs and thousands of reviews. I don't even know how many shows are up on there now that we've done over the years.
Hundreds of thousands.
You need to figure this out now and subscribe to us on Patreon and YouTube and Instagram and help us to 1 million. The road to 1 million subscribers starts today.
So deadpitonpatreon.com. Join today. Tiers start at only $1, but I'd recommend at least the $10 tier.
You can do 50.